Well, good morning to you guys. Welcome to this morning's show. We are going to talk a little bit about this migrant issue that we're having here in the city. It's getting colder, and with more and more of the migrants showing up, there not being a place for them to sleep, they're going to be trying to make it inside people's buildings, in their thresholds, in their in front of their businesses, their apartment buildings and stuff. If you guys don't want those people there, you're gonna have to start making it known and put like signs up in front of your building that, hey, we don't want people just loitering here. If you're not from this building or whatever, don't. And you're gonna have to have it in like Spanish or something like that, so they can understand that, hey, you're not welcome here to be in front of my business and living inside my door and stuff like that and everything else, if that's the case. A lot of these people aren't respectful. Yesterday we had some conversations with some people directly from Mexico, and it seems that Mexican people have the same sentiment that most of us others have, that have noticed this newer rush of Venezuelans and Hondurans and South Americans coming here, and a lot of them are of the mindset that basically they're going to be taken care of, and regardless if we want to accept that sentiment or not, that's exactly what's being thought. Is because of how shitty their country was and how everything was run in their country, they think that they can come here because they've been told or been set up to believe that they're going to be taken care of if they go to the United States. The United States is this foundation of welfare, where we're going to just take care of people that just come in, and we're going to make sure that they're put up in houses and everything else. And through some of the conversations that I had yesterday, it was kind of ironic that every single person that I had with these conversations, and I typically ask people if I can make friends with them, and they seem pretty reasonable overall. I'm trying to do my due diligence as a citizen in this community to try to make things better and draw awareness to it. That I asked them what's going on, and they were, like I said, I had a few Hispanic customers coming yesterday from Mexico, and they don't like any of the stuff that's going on. I had a couple African American customers come in yesterday where we had spoke briefly about how it's affecting the African American community and stuff like that. There were some people that left some comments on here saying, well, they voted for it. If they would stop voting Democrat, it has nothing to do with that. Honestly, it has nothing to do with that. I'm not going to say that that's not part. I can't say nothing to do with that. The majority of it is not that. Anytime that anybody's ever said that they're going to put the effort, time, and money into the minority, low-income community, whether they do take $1 million and throw it at the community, a couple $1 million and throw it at the community and say, okay, we're done, now we'll move on and we'll talk about it again in a few years when we need some more votes. Nobody's actually put the effort into changing the status of what's going on in these communities. They've never actually sat down and studied and put a team together to figure out how we're going to actually make the nucleus of the family better overall. Nobody's done that. I mean, they talk a good game, but nobody's actually done that. Nobody's sat down and tried to figure that stuff out. So instead of putting 42 million plus, we're probably closer to 50, 60 million now, into a migrant community that's being housed all over the Chicagoland area. Europe is having issues with it. Australia's having issues with it right now, and New York and California, Texas, Florida. Instead of having these issues that we're having, what we need to do, theoretically, is what I think. What we need to do is we need to make the legalization process easier, the vetting process easier. Get right down to it. Try to figure out whether or not these people are good people or bad people, and let's get them in here if they're going to be doing it the legit way, paperwork way, instead of making them wait 10, 15, 20 years, $10, $15, $20,000 later, 30 years later, still not citizens, and they've been trying. I mean, that's ridiculous, guys. Almost all of you have to agree. I mean, I know some of you are not going to agree just because you're stubborn like that, and you'll fight a wall that seems to be standing the wrong way because you don't like the way it's standing. We make these processes almost impossible. And then we wonder why people are trying to get in here the illegal way. It's because we make it impossible for them to get in here. So if we look at what's going on right now, it's this flood of migrants from all over the South American countries and stuff. And I mean, the amount of Venezuelans and Hondurans that I've seen and spoke to here, it's absolutely crazy. And they come in here all the time looking for jobs. They just pop in, and some of them are almost kind of disrespectful. They almost think that they're entitled to work for you because they came to say, I'm here to work. And I have to tell them, no, I'm not looking for somebody, man. You have to leave. I'm not looking for somebody. I don't need anybody else right now. I need somebody skilled. I need an A-Tech, and you're not an A-Tech. I can tell right now, kind of thing. And it sucks because it does affect our community. It does affect the community of our children and our schools and stuff like that, and there's nobody doing anything about it. Once I looked into this encampment that they were supposed to be building down here on 38th in California, I looked into it more and more and more. I guess the headlines read that the local alderman here, she didn't know what was going on. She was not even here. She was on vacation or something like that. And the new mayor, anyway, we're not going to talk about him. Wow, what a disaster that is. He decided to take it upon himself to start getting this going on this property in her district. Push comes to shove, she comes back and it's like, what are we doing here? No, this cannot be going on. There's no study on the land, and is it safe for people to live here? So they're thinking it's not safe for people to live there. So it's kind of on hold right now. So they're figuring out what's going on, if they're going to build this encampment there. But what ends up coming out of the woodwork in the information the last couple of weeks is they're shifting from finding pieces of property to warehouses. They are taking warehouses that are abandoned or no longer, or they've been decommissioned from whatever work was there before, and they're trying to renovate them and turn warehouses into encampment homes. So commercial property is now becoming residential property because Chicago sees the need to do so. You got to take a piece of commercial property that's not zoned residential, and we're told that we have to obey the law and we have to do all these things and stuff like that, but yet they can step in, not take anybody's vote about what's going on, not talk to anybody about what's going on, not make sure that they're okay with what's going on, and they can do what they want because they're the big man upstairs. They get to choose who and what follows the rules. I have a problem with that. Maybe we should take it to their doorsteps and protest on their doorsteps and go right to City Hall, go right to the place where we need to be and make our voices heard and start letting these people know that, hey, that's enough. We've had enough. We're not going to let it get to the point where it's out of control and we can't raise our families and stuff here. We can't live here. We're tired of you guys making up the rules and trying to make decisions on your own without actually getting the vote from the people that live in these communities. At some point in time, you guys are going to have to get together, and we're all going to have to come together, and we're going to have to stand up to these people, and we're going to have to say we're not going to let this happen. We've had enough of this. Or needs to be there needs to be a point where we look at the people that are calling the shots and say, you guys that's it. You got to go. We're not going to wait for a vote. We're not going to wait for you to have 3 more years of fucking this up. We want you out now. And it needs to go now. So how about we impeach, we do whatever, we figure it out. We want you out now. Absolutely now, if that's the case. And that's the only way it's going to change. Until the African American community, the minority community and stuff, the liberal white community, the radical rhino conservatives and stuff all come together and say, look, we got to fight on this common cause. We got to put our differences away. And we got to come together on this common cause. It's going to affect us more than anything right now, and we have to fight together for this. And if we can all get together and have each other's back in this and put our differences aside, we're going to get something done. But it has to be done. It's the only way this stuff's going to change. And until you guys see that and want to start working together. Most of you do. Most of you share the same sentiment. You want the same quality of life for your children, your family, and stuff like that. You just don't. You haven't quite put those pieces completely together yet to realize that we really don't have that much of a difference between what we want in life, and we really don't see things that different. Most of us all want good for people. We don't want bad things to happen to people, but we want justification. We want change. We want equality, equity. We want what's fair for everybody. We want the same rights for all people. Most of us all want that. There's very few people, and the media blows it up and makes it seem like it's much larger than what it is, and it's really not. But most of us want the same thing for everybody. And we love and care for each other the best that we can, that we know how, and we can do better, and we will do better. But at some point, we're going to have to come together to fight this common issue as it continues to grow and fester. The sooner we do it, the better off we'll be. But if we don't come together and put our differences aside, the very few that we have, nothing's going to get done. All right, that's my morning talk. Thank you guys. Be blessed. Take care. Thanks for watching the show. See ya.